morning, everyone. I hope you're doing very well. My name is Haniel Fissha. Before I dive into my presentation, I want to ask you something. Have you ever thought about how much the way we are raised affects how we think, how we feel, or how we cope with life, especially during high school? Today, I'm going to talk about something that really matters: the impact of parenting styles on the mental health of high school students. Because let's face it, adolescence is a very challenging time, and the way parents support and or pressure their children during this time makes all the difference. So here's a quick idea of what we'll go through today. We'll look at why this study was needed, what we hope to learn, what others have already discovered about parenting styles and mental health, how we did the research, what we found, and most importantly, what we can do with this knowledge. You'll walk away with not just information, but ideas on how we as students, parents, teachers, educators, and future parents can make a real difference. High school can be one of the most exciting, but also one of the most overwhelming time in anybody's life. There's pressure to get good grades, fit in, plan for the future, manage emotions, and all that at once. And let's be honest, here in Ethiopia, academic pressure is intense. There's a lot riding on school success as it guides your way to the future, but also, especially for teenagers, as it is one of the defining factors for the rest of their lives. But here's the thing: when we talk about students struggling, we often point at schools, teachers, exams, but what happens at home? What's going on? What about the way the children were raised, the conversations they had with their parents, the way that they were groomed while they were growing up? Think about it. The first lesson you learned about love, discipline, self-worth, communication, this all comes from your family. They shape your emotional lens. That's what this research is all about. Let's talk about what pushed this research forward. Mental health issue among high schoolers is very rising, not only in the world, not just in the world, but also here in Ethiopia. We're seeing more teens dealing with anxiety, depression, low self-worth, but few people are asking why. What's causing this? And even fewer are asking what role does this parenting play in this? One of the biggest gaps we noticed was there's basically any local research on this topic. There's literally none. But we can just keep importing Western, and we can't just keep importing Western studies. Parenting in Ethiopia is very different than parenting in other countries. It's shaped by different values, by different beliefs, and some of the parentings are based on other parents. That some parents base their parenting on how they were raised. We need to hear this from our own students, what they feel. We need to hear their voices. So this study wasn't just a school project, it was a call to start looking inward and listening to our students. So our research had one central goal: to understand how different parenting styles influence the mental health of high school students in Ethiopia. So we broke it down into 4 key points. First, find out what types of parenting styles are actually happening in our homes. Then we see how these styles affect teenagers, how teenagers feel emotionally. Then we explore the connection between parents and the mental health, including stress, depression, and self-esteem. Finally, we try and offer real strategies that could help. We wanted to ensure that these findings were relatable and usable, not just theoretical. Additionally, we hope to encourage schools and communities to take more holistic approach in supporting students, bridge the communication gap between the teens and parents through evidence-based understanding. Next, I'd like to talk about the literature review and the key things we found this. So what have what have others said before when we were checking the literature reviews? Studies from around the world have shown how parents played a big role in how children turn out emotionally and also mentally. So a famous person known as Baumrind constructed a framework or a theory which describes that there are 4 parenting styles. These are authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and neglectful. So, in short, authoritative is warm and but clear with rules. There's some connection. There's definite connection with parents, but there are some boundaries that set the children straight. Then we have authoritarian. This is very strict and this is very strict and controlling. There's there's little communication with the children. There's only rules. Then we have permissive. Permissive is almost the same as authoritative, but the difference is on authoritative, there are some rules and boundaries. But here, the children are let loose. The parents are very lenient, so their children cannot have boundaries sometime after they grow up. We also have we also found another key point. This is we also looked at the self determination theory. This states this states that which every person needs to feel three things to feel autonomous, competent, and connected. Parents either supports or blocks that. These theories help us understand why some students flourish while others struggle. Not because they're lazy or because they don't work hard. It's because that the communication between the parents and them lacking the emotional support that they need, drives them mentally into an unknown state that we can't help if it's not controlled fast. Other themes that emerged include the role of culture in shaping how parenting styles are interpreted in Ethiopia. Most parents use uh, help the children go through culture, but while some of them do not. Then the other one is the potential long-term effect of childhood experience on adults' mental health and interpersonal relationships. So I would like to talk, I'd like to talk about the summary of the literature review finding. So first of all, authoritative parents are by far, out of the four, the best way to help your child grow. It's balanced, that leads best, it has the best mental health outcome, and the kids feel heard, safe, secure, guided, mentally stable. Then we have authoritarian and neglectful parents. Neglectful and authoritarian parents have a have a harsh way of parenting, and they are emotionally distant, and this sometimes leads the children to anxiety and helps them feel unheard and insecure, and also unsafe. Then we have permissive, permissive parenting. While warm, can sometimes leave the kids unprepared for life's demands and boundaries. As permissive parenting style has no rules. The children are let go. So once they grow up, they're going to feel like they can't make boundaries for themselves. This is going to drag them very much. Then we have the methodology review. We have surveyed over 50 students in UNITA between the year between May to June, and we asked them about their parents, emotional support, the stress, the discipline, everything that happens in their house, and we took that and we used that. The study was ethical, focused, and culturally grounded. Then we have the parenting style categories, as I mentioned. Now let's dive a little bit deep. So authoritative, as I said, they are very warm. There, there are rules. This helps the child to grow on a certain road that one assures that he is almost able to lead his life or his or her life in the future. And this has the best emotional outcomes and the best mental health outcomes out of all. Then we have authoritarian. This is very strict. The parents are cold to their children. This creates fear between them and it creates no respect, making the parents and the children clash again and again and again. Then we have permissive parenting. Permissive parenting is warm and no rules. As we saw in authoritative, permissive and authoritative, they have one major difference. On permissive, there are no rules. There's only supporting the child, doing what the child wants, not what the child needs. So the rules are there to help the child guide into what they need, not what they want. Because the children, unless they're 18, they do not know what they want. So unless they're guided by the way that we know and we think is correct, this can, without helping them set boundaries, once they reach into adulthood, it's going to be very overwhelming and very hard for them. Then final is neglectful parents. Neglectful parents are absent. They're just not even in the child's life. They help with the school fees, they help with what's needed, but they're not emotionally available. The child cannot come home and ask, can I talk to you, mom? They're just going to say no. These are neglectful parents. The distribution of parenting styles in Yates Academy. So after we've done our research, authoritative parents have been 69.4% of our community, which is very good. It's telling us that our community, 69% of our community, almost 70% of our community was raised in a very warm, welcoming household with actual rules and can maybe strive in the future. Then we have authoritarian. 22% of people, 22% of children, 22% of our community has had 20, authoritarian parenting style. This is kind of bad because 22% is very big, and some children are in very some children need very big guidance because after they finish school, some parents who are authoritarian might just leave them alone, and it's going to be very hard for them to persevere and strive. Then 6.1% of our community was permissive. Permissive isn't bad, but it's not also good either because because permissive, as I said before, doesn't help you set boundaries. So once the 6.1% of our community is out on the field, they might not know how to set boundaries. They might not be able to lead their life. Then we have neglectful. Thankfully, it's 2%. That means almost like 3 or 4 people are affected by the neglectful parents. This is not good, but it's inequality. We need to find and help these children and give them support, and we need to also check the parents and make provide anything we have to. The most, as I said before, above 75, including the 61, have authoritative homes. When done, this this tells us that our community, even though it's not well educated on these parenting styles, is still going on the right path. While while the other 25% needs to be educated and needs to be corrected in the right path. So the mental health outcomes that authoritative parents bring, well, I think actually authoritative parents, since they're available, since everything is given and that you need is there, there's little that mental health outcomes that can happen in people. But when we come to neglectful, authoritarian, and permissive, there are some major mental health outcomes of students. This is higher self-esteem, fewer depressive, very high depression. Uh, there's low amount of academic motivation. There's no communication skills because neglectful parents are going to raise children who are afraid. Since they can't talk to their parents, they're going to think that they can't talk to anybody else. So they're going to feel like they're outcasts. They can't They can't thrive well in that community. So through all these findings, I'd like to say a summary. So parenting styles deeply affect teen mental health. Emotional warmth, structure, and support build resilience. They also build resilience and confidence. But they also can build harsh climates for the children in the future. Schools can help by promoting parent workshops, by creating awareness, by creating seminars in which which parents can be educated. Families and schools must work together to create a protective environment around teenagers. Thank you.